Welcome to the Grounded Woo Woo. Hey, it's Michelle Victoria. I hope you're well. I am recording this on the eve of New Year's 2025. Hard to believe that we're about to step into 2026. I hope 2025 was a decent year for you. Numerologically, it was a year 9, which is endings and completions. Wondering if you experienced any endings or completions in your world. You also have a personal numerological year that you can calculate with your birth data. And that will also speak to your year on a deeper level. I was also in a number 9 year personally, and I will step into a number 1 year, like the universal year will be as well, tomorrow. And the number 1 numerological year is all about new beginnings and new starts. I did a recent episode about perfection ages, and I did step in my last birthday in September into a perfection year in my 10th house, which is all about career and my reputation, public reputation, and what I do in the visible world. And that house for me is Libra. And so that's ruled by Venus, and Venus happens to be in my 10th house in my birth chart. So it's a Venusian year for me from September 2025 to September 2026. Your perfection years, the themes start the birth month and end the following birth month, not the day you were born in that month. So if you're born in December, it'll be December 2025 to December 2026 will be your perfection year. And again, it's based on your age. You can find that episode on my YouTube channel and my podcast. So how was your 2025? It certainly was a year of culminations and endings and completions. Lots of change. And I know so many people that dealt with loss and are grieving, and everything's changed. Just this morning, I was having a conversation with one of them, and they were saying that they're just trying to get through the day today. And I said, you're very strong. You're doing wonderfully by putting one foot in front of the other every day. That's all you can do. There is no right or wrong way to grieve, and we all grieve differently. And as I said, I know from people that lost spouses to parents this year, it's very difficult, and the holidays were hard. So I reached out to those people in my life and said, I know it must be hard. And I'm just thinking of you and thinking of the person that they lost. So it's so hard in our society, and I've said this before on my podcasts. This time of year, everyone is just inundated with the commercialism of Christmas. And so many people are grieving due to loss, physical losses, personal losses, and just still grieving from a loss maybe years prior of a child, of a parent, of a spouse, whatever. So the holidays are very difficult. Whatever you were dealing with, I hope you had a decent December and on to 2026. And my wish for everyone is peace, good health for 2026. So if you'd like to explore what your perfection year and your numerological year have in store for you for 2026, you can book a session with me. We can go over that. as well as the major transits that are happening for 2026 and how they may or may not be affecting you directly or heavily. So, just to speak to some of the major transits, Saturn and Neptune are going into the sign of Aries, and Saturn will move into Aries February 13th, 2026, and won't leave until April 12th, 2028. And Neptune will be joining Saturn January, actually it will be there a little sooner, but will come together with Saturn, I should say, in February 20th, I believe, 2026. The two of them come together in the sign of Aries. So Neptune and Aries are Neptune and Saturn, very different archetypes. Saturn is all about limits, and Neptune is a very ethereal sign and can have a hard time being tethered to reality. So with Neptune coming together with Saturn, it may be a time that you really are able to buckle down and make dreams come to reality because they need structure and form and discipline. So depending on where these two are meeting, whatever house in your chart Aries is in, will speak to the themes you're going to be going through. The other big outer planet, Uranus, is moving into Gemini a little bit later into 2026, April 26th, I believe, and will be there until 2033. So Gemini's an air sign, and Uranus is a sign about liberation and freedom. It doesn't like limits. Out of the box. Uranus wants freedom. So Uranus and Gemini really will depend on obviously which house it's in, how it's going to show up for you in your world. For me, I have Uranus and Gemini in the 6th house of my daily routines and work and small animals, my health routines. So I do want freedom in my work life. My health routines are a lot, and I have been on several different health routine journeys for a lot of years, but who knows what Uranus will bring. I don't even want to dare guess, just trying to go with the flow here. So depending on where Uranus lands in your chart, where your Gemini house is, will speak to the things you're going to be experiencing. And of course, Pluto moved into Aquarius in 2024, November 2024, and will be there for 20 years. So that's a very long time. And Pluto was the planet that exposed me to astrology to begin with, because when I had my Pluto transit through my first house, I'm a Capricorn rising. It started in 2008, ended in 2024. I did not know any of this until about 3/4 of the way through the Pluto transit, and it explained everything, and I was just blown away by astrology and what the archetypal themes are of Pluto and Capricorn in the first house, and how it explained my reality. With Pluto, there is no new moon manifestations that you can do. There's no rituals that you can do. There are no mantras that you can do. Vision boards. You can't wish your way, manifest your way out of Pluto transits. And with Pluto in the first house, the house of the self, the body, the identity, your health, if you had any areas of growth that were needed, Pluto's going to tear that shit down. And it certainly did that for me. It made me face so many fears and so many dark places in my life that I've carried for a long time. And then I fell apart physically. Although I wasn't living a bad life. I didn't drink anyway, and I ate clean pretty much. but it totally changed everything. So now I live a super clean life, cleaner than I did. I didn't think that was possible, but it was. And now my whole identity's changed. Not the same person, and that's not a bad thing. But Pluto is in Aquarius now, as I said, for 20 years. So wherever that house is for you, we'll speak to themes and how it will possibly manifest in your world. So Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, Pluto, and Jupiter. Jupiter only stays in a sign for a year, but it's still a big deal that Jupiter has been in Cancer since June. And Jupiter sometimes is the Santa Claus of astrology, I hear people say, which is funny, but it's not always good. Jupiter makes things bigger. So for me, when I had that Pluto in the first house in Capricorn, and then Saturn joined in that house in the South Node, and then Jupiter, it made everything bigger. And what I was going through was not good. It just boom, just highlighted it, giant exclamation mark on it. It was not a good time. I'm not saying that to scare you, but Jupiter is not all sunshine and butterflies, and you get a car, and you get this, and you get that. So, but Jupiter is very happy in Cancer, and wherever Cancer is in your chart, what house? For me, it's my 7th house of relationships. And depending on what your rising sign is, will tell me where your Jupiter is transiting. So those are the heavy hitters of 2026. And if you would like to explore your personal story, you can book a session with me. You can email me at michelle@thegroundedwoowoo.com or visit my Instagram page at thegroundedwoowoo or YouTube or Spotify, my podcast as well. So I hope that 2026 gets off to a peaceful start for you. You have good health, and you are able to make some of your dreams come true. With Saturn and Neptune, I think this is a good thing, personally, because Saturn puts the limits on Neptune, so you don't delude yourself. You can stay grounded. So I think that's really positive. So thanks for listening, and until next time.